Bored farmer looking for extra work, call leg arms. Yeah, is this Mr. Arms?
Okay, so what does this job actually entail?
So really what I'd like you to do is you're going to spend harvest in this machine operating some of these John Deere machines. Is that cool with you? I guess it isn't going to work out. I don't know, what do you think? They got the new wet bin all plumbed in there. They're working on some electrical stuff over there right now, and it has not rained for 2 days, which means we're gonna head out and check the fields right now to see if we could get something done. Awfully muddy for the top of a hill, isn't it? Jeez, look at that. Still shiny. So what we're gonna do out here is we're checking two things. First thing is the ground, which is wet, really wet. I don't know if the header would work on it or not. I think the combine would carry in most areas, but we'd have problems through all the low draws. But the way to test this, look at that, there's a 4-bean pod, is to take a few pods off and snap them open in your hand first off to see how easily they snap, which these ones are not going to shell out nicely, so they're not going to combine well. So you get a few beans in your hand here, and I know these ones are wetter than what we want. We want them down to, at least under 15% moisture, which these are not. Get them in there, chew on them a bit. What are these? 19%, 20?
That's what I would guess, 18 to 20 somewhere.
Kyle said
they might dry out enough in the next few hours with this much sun.
I think it'll be down to 16 by 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Okay, here's what we decided. That field was pretty wet. We didn't think we were going to get a chance to go very hard on that field today. So we came down to probably, hopefully, the driest soybean field that we're going to have anywhere. We're going to start on that. I don't know if that's going to go tonight or not, but it's our best bet. So if it doesn't go tonight, we have a spot to leave the combine here, and it will go at some point tomorrow. So Dad's following behind me. He's got the header behind the pickup on a trailer. I'm going to back into a field approach up here. He's going to come by on the road, and then I can hook up to that header, and we'll see what we got. The beans are still pretty squishy down here, but the soil seems a lot more fit to drive on. If you look out across here, you can tell this is a lot more rolling hills here. There's some drier stuff here. There's actually a gravel pit right there. So this is much, much lighter soils than what we have right at home. We're gonna throw the header on and break into this and at least see what we've got. All right, hold it right there and we'll see as I get closer here. I will need you to pull forward another inch or two.
Go down. There, you got it.
I don't like that I can't see the hooks either. Looking all pretty right there. Because of the wind system, we've got to come over to this side and hook up the PTO that runs that. Okay, wind system's got to go down for sure. Reel's got to go up. Don't mind me, I'm just talking to myself. Turn it so you guys can see a little bit of this here. I am going to jump out and see what kind of job this is doing before I get too far. Well, there's our first crop taken out for the year. See what we got. I was driving awfully slow, so it's never going to do as nice of a job. That sound is the knives in the chopper spinning to a stop. So because I was going pretty slow, that wasn't exactly a realistic condition, and I don't have everything set, obviously, on the combine yet, but I wanted to make sure things looked close back here and we didn't have beans all over the ground, which we don't. And now it looks like Dad could use some help, maybe back in the trailer in here. Never mind, he's got it handled. Well, the good news is the combine didn't leave any ruts here, but this is a very dry spot in the field. Still some pods coming in. So this is the door to get into the sample, which there's always a lot of pods on the edge, but you can see a fair amount of pods in there. Those pods are most likely in there because the beans are a little tough yet. It's showing 18% moisture, which is more than we want to harvest them at this point. But we want to get everything set and ready here, so we're just going to take out 100 bushels or so. It looks like it's doing a pretty decent job, and these look like awesome beans, but we're having a problem. We can't raise the reel on the head, which is a problem I had before, and we thought it was fixed, but it doesn't seem to be. Well, the ones that are coming through are all big ones. They're all swollen.
They're all big beans, too.
Yeah. Well,
yeah.
We're out here now so we can speed the rotor up, tighten it down, and open the sibs a bit.
Yep, I can remember those wet years. We used to run the cylinder twice as fast as they said. As fast as it would go, actually.
I think we did that 5 years ago or so. When Dean was here, we had it running really,
probably did.
Really tight and fast.
Thanks, Daryl. Yep, I'm going to stop here. We'll try that and see if we can go over in. All he did is unhook and hook the single foot connection. Said there were wires in there. What?
You said there was what? Wires in there?
He thought it was electrical connection in there, the wires.
Just in and out still. Alright. We cannot get the reel to work correctly. So we are going to have Deere come out. They're going to take a look at it. With a brand new head, it's going to be warranty work anyway, because they got to get that working for us, which I thought we had it going. We did have it going the one day, but then we unhooked it, hooked it back up, and now it doesn't work. So I'm just going to finish up to the corner of the field here. They're not ready yet anyway, so it's not like we're in a hurry. This is kind of why we did this today, just to get things going and try to work the bugs out, work the kinks out. We'll have them fix it up. I have nothing more to say. We're going to go get the grain cart. Forget that heartbreak every time. Well, one of the awesome things is that I think there's some good beans out here. For a dry field, we never expect too much, but this probably worked out really well this year because we had so much rain. The other really nice thing is that this header is actually doing a really nice job. I just need control of that reel. But beyond that, this header is cutting really nice, doing a really good job of feeding the beans in. Yep. Oh, good. Are you clear then for me to fire it up again? No, it did not do it. Well, we tried what we've got. Turning it off and back on again also did not do it. So unplugging it, plugging it back in, didn't work this time. We took some of those soybeans home and tested them, and what we ended up with was about 18.5%, which is awfully wet for soybeans. But what we decided was kind of the same thing when it comes to the combine. We want to have enough to run through tomorrow morning right away to make sure that everything with the new wet bin and the new conveyor and everything we had going on there is set just the way we want it and is set correctly. So that means we need a few hundred bushels to go. Chances are tomorrow we're going to have 15.5 or 16% soybeans anyway, so we might have to put a little bit of heat on them through the grain dryer before we can store them. So, in other words, we're going to have the dryer up and going anyway. Kind of figured we'll just run for an hour or two tonight to get some soybeans out, see where we're at, get a better feel, make sure the grain cart's working good. And then we'll have something to run through the pits and the wet bins tomorrow and the grain dryer and the overhead conveyor, and we'll have everything going just right. Check out what I just found on the road. If you watched my recent videos, you know that I was missing a couple small covers from the side of the combine that I needed to have installed. Look what I found. What we did was we left these hanging by one nut on the side of the combine, and I believe that nut loosened up and they fell off. Apparently one of them was still hung up in the combine somewhere. Found it. Onyx and Mrs. Millennial Farmer are out there hunting in the ground blind there. I haven't heard any shots, but I haven't been home very much. I'll have to take Onyx out in the morning again. Hopefully they got some venison for me. You know, these grain carts, it's tough to see behind you.
5 from 4.
Oh, holy cow, one of the neighbors is going. We gotta hurry. As I was saying, these grain carts get pretty big. You can't really see behind you at all. It'd be really nice if there was a way to see behind you to know if you've got to let any cars by or anything. Oh yeah. Yeah, I installed an AGCAM. We're good. Deere came out and fixed what they thought the issue was on our header, which actually was not an issue with the new header. It was an issue on our combine where it looked like a couple of pins in the connector pack that run some of the electrical components and control the hydraulics of it had made poor contact and actually looked like they had melted, and that was on the combine side of things. So they replaced a couple of those pins. Now I've been radioed by Dad saying that we got a couple other issues that are not syncing up. The reel works, but there's a couple other problems with it. So it's almost 6:30. I don't know if we'll get anybody out here to fix that tonight or if we will just be heading home, because I don't know if Deere is still open tonight because there's really nobody going yet. So we will see. Well, we wait for Deere to come back because it sounds like they are going to come back. I need communication to open my...
How's that working out for you?
About as well as it looks like. Don't know what I did wrong, but it worked yesterday. I'll go outside and do it. So the belts are supposed to be turning at a much higher rate. Harvesting. I'm not sure what they're working on for sure, but the combine is moving slowly. Meanwhile, I've got to find a 20 amp breaker somewhere back here to see if that is what tripped out or what's going on with my tarp on this thing. Supposedly there is a 20 amp breaker out here somewhere. There's a 35 right here, that's fine. Right here, the gray box. Got her. I found that 20 amp breaker. That ended up being all it was. So we got the tarp open on that now. And Dad and Eric got this thing calibrated. Apparently that's all it needed. It just wanted to run through a calibration again, and now it's working fine. Whether it's fixed or not, who knows, but it's working right now the way it sounds. But anyway, all these little issues are pretty much exactly why we decided to start tonight. This is way too bright. There we go. Turn this one down. Okay. Let's harvest. Farming. We did not want to unload on the go with a new header and a new grain cart and everything we've got going on here, and it's dusty. The dust is flying. Let me know when you got that that scale on. All right, got it figured out. Let's see how much weight we got in there. Definitely a few pods in the tank, but not terrible, and it was getting better. Check it out. We've got a light on the end of our auger.
They didn't even run.
How many pounds does it say you have?
16,860. What do you have?
Well, we're 21 pounds off, so we must be fairly close. Sure is a lot more comfortable to watch everything with that auto steer on, though, when you got everything brand new and you're a little nervous about it.
Yeah, good it is. It'll look better too afterwards.
Harvesting soybeans. It's a beautiful thing. That's it, guys. We are harvesting according to my weather app. We've got rain coming in about 3 days, so we are gonna get as much knocked out as we can. Tomorrow morning we're gonna have some new stuff to deal with around the dryer with the new wet bin and everything, so we'll deal with that in the morning. Usually the soybeans pick up moisture overnight. If it stays a little bit breezy like it is right now, they could be dry in the morning, but typically soybeans don't go early right away in the morning. You have to wait for the plants to dry off again before they feed in nicely. So we're gonna deal with a whole bunch of other things in the morning before we get back out here. Then we're gonna hit it as hard as we can here for the next 2.5, 3 days before that rain comes. Automatic tarp on a grain cart. Sweet.